Recently, I was contacted via email by an indie dev who asked me to play his game and make a little video of it on my channel. I looked into his game a bit, but I was feeling a bit inquisitive, so I decided to ask something. I inquired as to how exactly did he find my channel. I'm not the biggest YouTuber after all, so I was definitely curious. He responded, "I found your channel by searching for similar games on YouTube." I thought hard about that response. His game wasn't exactly something I covered typically. In fact, the only game I could think of that I reviewed that was similar to this one at all would be Sengoku Rants, Claritas Dungeon Crawler, a humble 2D turn-based dungeon crawling RPG, one that I do believe is meant to evoke feelings of those classic JRPGs of gaming yore. Claritas offers you a rather simplified experience to enjoy, with fairly simple dungeons that are just giant squares. Your dungeon raiding operations will also be carried out entirely at your guild hall HQ here. It is within these hallowed walls that you'll be able to do everything you need to. So no wasting time gallivanting across the fantasy world you're in, rallying whatever disparate losers you can find who will help your cause. Nah, son, you just compose your party from a list of 20 different classes, including werewolves, vampires, all manner of mages, and a dude who can shoot a crossbow really well. Each of these characters have 4 distinct skills apiece. Everyone has a basic attack, of course, but the other 3 could be anything from buffs, debuffs, toggles that alter your attack, or just automatically go through whenever a character gets a turn, and really just everything you could expect from an RPG like this. Duh. So do your best to put together a team of elite warriors to tackle the game's dungeons. My first team was just random stuff I thought looked cool. Dragon Knight, because I have a fetish. Musketeer, because I figured someone using a gun would be quite useful. Frozen Queen, because she sounded more powerful than Ice Mage. And lastly, a humble Paladin, because we needed a healer, and I prefer having a healer that can tank instead of just being a heal slut for the party. This team only went okay. I cleared some dungeons, but didn't feel particularly efficient or strong, so I scrapped this party and made a second, more concise one, consisting of the following. Ranger, he has a bow. He can sneeze on his arrows for poison damage, and a passive that boosts his chance to crit with said tainted arrows. He also has traps, which he just kind of tosses onto the ground and hopes an enemy steps onto it. Mistress, Dami Mommy Buffer, she can whip foes. She can also get excited by whipping said foes, which results in more whipping. Also a fairly broken character due to her entice skill, wherein she goes ooh woo and makes the enemy team so unbelievably horny that they lose all sense of self and must attack her and only her. This is kind of broken because if she's in the back line, protected by her party simps, any melee will simply be unable to attack her, rendering the whole swaths of enemies useless because they don't even bother attacking anybody else. The mistress can also excite her allies. Men? Excited. Man of God? No holy man is immune to the power of simping. Women? The world of Claritas follows the ancient Italian philosopher Bruno di Fagiocchini's belief on women, which is to say, women are like pasta, straight until wet. Ice Mage, because down with the bourgeoisie. An average nuker character, she also has the intense ability to insult an enemy's ego so hard they become fragile and vulnerable, which she can then follow up by dropping several icebergs on top of their heads. Lastly, a Paladin. He tanks, he spanks, he shields his precious waifus from damage, can heal them when haters have done them harm, and can purge heretics from this earth. Heretics in this case being anyone looking at you funny. These chosen form my party for a slew of very successful adventures. Why art thou questing though, neophyte? I don't know, to be heroes or something? Money? Yeah, it's probably money. Honestly, just make up your character's backgrounds. This game doesn't really have anything too expansive for backgrounds. If you're playing an RPG, you should be good at that after all. I guess maybe not anymore. As you enter the first dungeon, you'll run across quite a few things, mainly random battle monsters, of course. This is a JRPG, after all. Combat is very simple. It's the ATB system you've all come to know and love over the years. The bars start to fill at the beginning of the combat. First come, first serve to act in battle. When you get your turn, you do a little of this, a little of that, and then everybody on the enemy team dies. Interestingly, all of your attacks, even your simple basic attack, cost mana, so you must always be mindful of your mana budget as you're exploring the dungeons of Claritas. Thankfully though, in addition to your normal potions, your characters can take a moment to just think really hard about something, and they'll restore a bit of their mana in the process. All characters also have the option for a quick heal by simply taking a nap in the middle of battle. With some decent battle management, you can easily restore all of your health and mana before a critical boss fight, which is a nice feature, not gonna lie. As you commit unspeakable acts of wanton violence, you'll gain experience and level up, which of course makes your characters more deadly fighters, on top of just straight upgrading their basic attack. Your boosted stats and attacks will also allow you to commit even more violence against the strangers in this dungeon. With your enhanced killing capacities, you'll be able to easily rob the dead of their riches, alongside pilfering the dungeons of their riches too via these chests that are just kind of chilling in the dungeons you run across. Along the way, you'll also run across events that can help or hinder your team. On one hand, I ran across a brigade of training soldiers who happily let me train alongside them for some free experience. No harm, no foul of any variety, really. On the other hand, I ran across an alchemist who was fucking around with some potion mixing, and he asked me for some assistance. I agreed, of course, for science purposes alone, which resulted in the alchemist mixing the wrong things and creating a massive explosion, which hurt my party quite a bit. I got off easily, however, as the alchemist was obliterated entirely. Regardless, as a result of this event, I've forsaken science and returned to serving Christ, of course. You may now be curious as to how to finish a dungeon, which honestly that's rather simple. All you have to do is locate the boss and kill them. You don't even need to explore the entire dungeon, just find this little purple dude and put the boss in the following fight into a nice little oak box. Upon slaying whatever vile creature awaits you at the end of a given dungeon, you are rewarded with a nice shiny gemstone, one that's always critical to crafting higher equipment, which you'll obviously need to tackle the higher level dungeons that await you later on in this game. Clear the dungeon and return to the guild hall to spend all of your newly acquired gains on new equipment to be stronger, and also guild hall buffs that boost everything from your items to combat effectiveness, which will of course allow you to delve deeper in Claritas. Alongside that, you'll also be able to forge new weapons, swap out party members, and also be able to claim the bounties you've been able to slay in your adventures. Then you just keep doing all this till you're bored. And with that, I'll say that's pretty much it for this one. I won't lie, when I was randomly contacted to have a go at this one, admittedly, I wasn't expecting that much. But I had a very pleasant time with this one. Characters are all fairly simple, straightforward, and I very much enjoyed playing my time as a result. There were also a lot of characters I didn't play around with, so in the future, I can look forward to doing that. This is a... oh my god. This is a nice little JRPG type experience. As a disclaimer though, this one does use a good bit of AI generated images, mainly to create the backgrounds, enemy sprites, and random encounter pics that you run across. I know this is something that many take umbrage to, so I felt fit to mention it here. If that doesn't bother you though, give this one a shot, honestly. A demo is currently available to be played, and you can play that demo on Steam, mobile devices, or right in your browser of choice. Claritas is available now, so go pick it up if this interests you, or give the demo a shot at least. I would like to thank the dev very much for giving me the opportunity to play this one early. I genuinely appreciate it. As small as I am, it's awesome to get a free experience like this. As always, viewers, my name is HadesManticore, and this here channel is CityStateManticore. Thanks a ton for watching if you did. Be sure to drop a fat like, leave a comment, and subscribe too, because as always, there's more content to come. I'll see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.